Once again, this is a professional practices class, so the soft skills that are involved in this class are a really important part. Communication, collaboration, participation, and presentation. This is all part of the group dynamic and making sure everyone does their part with the project and how you work together and all that stuff. Also on the list of things to do today, which will not be due today, but I'm going to introduce it, is a project proposal page. Just like you did a project proposal for LMW1, it's the same kind of format where you use a template and put the titles and then fill in, and I'll go over that right now. But it's due at the midterm. I have on here your best guess, so hold that thought for a minute. I'll explain what that means. So everything is on session 2 today. So if you're looking top of the list, the project proposal guide, and you'll see these headings, the title, your working title of the piece, the collaborators, your team names, an overview, which essentially is your core concept, your intended audience, and this gets into like demographics, like it's not okay to say this is for everybody. And the reason I say that is because if you're actually putting together a real proposal, you would be looking at other things that are like the stuff you want to make and appealing to that audience. So, for example, if you give it to a producer, they're going to say, oh, you want to make this skateboarding video, and it's like this other skateboarding video and this other skateboarding video. I know exactly what that's like, and I know who your audience is. They're going to be, you know, guys from the age of 12 to 27. Awesome. Another heading, objective of the film. What do you want your audience to take away from your documentary? There's obviously a piece on adoption like we just saw. There's a message to take away from that about the effects of adoption on families. Soundtrack, describing the actual types of music. And then the treatment. The treatment is the thing that's really very different than the last classes. And the treatment is a written description of your project. It's a term from the real world. To put it simply, there are 2 types of treatment in the world, a short form and a long form. And we're sort of doing the short form. A long form will describe absolutely every shot, absolutely every camera angle, absolutely every detail of your project on paper. The short form is more about the spirit of it, but the more concrete you can be, the better. Note that it's a short narrative written in simple, non-technical language. That's the first line. Your goal is to evoke how your audience will experience the film on screen. So obviously your piece doesn't exist yet, and that's the creative problem. If it doesn't exist yet, it's your best guess. Once again, the proposals for our class they come from the real world in that if you actually want money to do a project, you have to be able to write about it before the project exists. That's it. So this is how people view this. So, you know, you dream big, and you imagine what this could be, you imagine what you want it to be, and you write it that way.
Question?
Yes?
So we're literally writing out how our film is going to appear on screen?
That's the best way to look at it, yes. He asked if you're literally writing out what your film is going to look and sound like on screen. I said, yes, that's the best way to do it. A play-by-play, in a sense.